She got her foot on the top, but she gonna touch you. So look out for that person that's coming over.
All right, welcome everyone to Art Battle in Chicago. We are here starting our very first round. We have 20 minutes on the clock and 6 incredible artists tackling these easels. We are going to have a total of 12 artists painting with us tonight, 6 in round number 1, 6 in round number 2, and our top 4 artists from round number 1 and from round number 2 will be moving forward into a 4-artist final showdown. And we'll paint again. So make sure that you get registered to vote at artbattle.com/AB2473 so you can cast your vote for these artists. Right now we are checking out the canvas of Aespyne Alix, who looks like has gone down with a graphite drawing, definitely some curvilinear lines going on, and already onto the paint in her first minute. And here we are with Marco Salazar. And Marco has a really interesting start already because we can see that he's working mostly in these very gestural strokes with this gorgeous blue. And I think that we're starting to see a profile emerging. Here we are with Lauran Hon, and Lauran has actually painted in Art Battle Chicago quite a few times before. And she actually was a painter in the Art Battle Chicago City Finals just a few weeks ago, and is one of my very favorite artists to watch on the stream. Willow Estel also, they are an artist who has painted many times in Art Battle, and Willow is actually painted in Oakland as well, so is an artist who really loves to travel for the battle. And here we are with Oxana Fursenko, who has also painted in different Art Battle cities. She's painted in San Francisco. And we can see that she is going down with, I think, this like half moon of a profile of a face. And here we are with Ada Dancy. And Ada is an artist who is new to Art Battle Chicago. And I was very excited when we saw her application come in. She has this really, really engaging style of work that is often playing with themes of life and death. And once again, voting is open at artbattle.com/AB2473. And all of the works created tonight are also available for silent auction at that same link. Back with Lauran now, and Lauran is bringing us her signature super textural style, and is also kind of leaning into looks like some dark themes that we're used to seeing from Lauran as well. And this is one of my favorite things about Art Battle. Of course, I love when we have new artists, but something that I really love about Art Battle when we see artists coming back to the easel and painting multiple times is that we really get to familiarize ourselves with their style, and especially their battle style. How an artist's studio work translates into the live arena can often be a bit of a mystery, and so it's really cool to see Lauran bringing that kind of consistent style to the easel tonight. And back over with Oxana, and Oxana is just really fanning out just so much cataclysmic color coming, radiating out of this face here. And I'm really enjoying the technique that she's using where the brush is quite wet already, and she's using that to kind of just drag all of the paint across. And back with Aespyne Alix here, who is a new artist to Art Battle as well. And I gotta say, I'm really enjoying the organic forms here. I'm wondering whether or not this piece is going to evolve into something that's figurative, or if we're going to keep going with this organic space. And I'm really actually enjoying that. Over with Marco Salazar now, and this piece has just evolved so incredibly since the last time we saw it only a few minutes ago. So much color has been added. The skin tone with this gorgeous golden orange, and the stripes on the shoulder of this character's clothing, and some smoke coming up through the side as well. This is a really interesting piece, and it's kind of blowing my mind that we're only at 7 minutes here. Back over with Lauran Hon. Oxana Belka, now just continuing to really pull all of these colors out from the center of the canvas. And there's such an element of psychedelic here as well, which is really, really engaging. I'm loving just the incredible amount of vibrancy that we're getting off of that canvas. Back with Ada Dancy here, and I've really enjoyed from Ada how she has layered colors onto this canvas. Back with Alex here, and I'm really enjoying the way that this magenta color is kind of vibrating off of the blue. Back with Marco here, and the addition of the highlights here is just so thoughtful on all of these high points of the face where we can see that the light would hit. But the way that he's using this super vibrant blue as the low lights and that point of contrast is really, really cool, because we have two colors that are at almost the same level of saturation, and they're communicating different tones, different levels of light and dark. So really, Marco is definitely a tonal master in this execution here. We are just approaching the halfway mark. We are just about 11 minutes remaining on the clock, and these artists are committed to their ideas and have begun executing and really have built the major components of their pieces. Getting into the second half, I think, is my favorite part of Art Battle, because we get to see how they continue to hone these ideas. So looking at Willow's piece, and they have this silhouetted figure, looks like, just creating that contrast over this orb of a golden sun. Back with Oxana now, and a face has been added to our profile here, and it's like surreal psychedelic art meets cubism, and I think that it's just super cool, and I think that the crowd is really going to be very, very excited about Oksana's piece. Ada has just this wonderful, like, really realized way of painting and layering. Like, this piece looks like it could have been an oil that had been created over some time within the studio, just in this careful way that she's layering all of these colors and getting different levels of transparency. And now we can see that she's working on something in the foreground. And back with Aespyne Alix here, and I love these green drips. That is just so fun, and I'm really loving the way that they're just cascading down the canvas and really providing an interest point, because all of the rest of the lines that she's got going on here are very, very clean. And so with the breaking of those blue lines with the drips, we really get that sense of tension, and it also introduces kind of a little bit of fun into the piece as well. Marco continuing to just work on this piece, and he's just done such an excellent job building the piece right from the beginning. I think the only danger that Marco has now is that he could potentially overpaint this piece, just because we have 8.5 minutes remaining, and he's done such a great job so quickly already. I almost want to tell him to slow down, because it's looking great the way it is. Back with Lauran here, and really enjoying all of this texture. And we earlier saw her going in with a palette knife, and we're getting these just big buttery swipes of color across the canvas that are leaving these little shelves of texture that the light is playing off of. Back with Oxana here, and I think that Oxana has actually added in a metallic element as well at the bottom, as if this piece didn't have enough visual interest going on for it. We get the addition of a metallic now into the mix. I love that Oxana just really, really goes for it and is so interested in creating all of these beautiful, whimsical color plays that our eyes get to dance on. Back with Ada here. And Ada is adding something into the background. I'm not sure what it is. I'm wondering whether or not it might be some little sprites or like figures in this yellow. Oh, very cool from Aespyne Alix with the addition of this eye up in the corner of our shape, especially just really digging all of the graphic elements that are coming together in this piece. I think that there's a lot of great compositional balance within this painting. And again with Marco, I just think he could chill at this point. It's so good already. And I feel like we're really seeing him taking his time as well now at this point. We saw him working so rapidly in the beginning, and now we're just getting these strokes that are just very patient and just really steady-handed, especially with the way that we're getting these highlights on the brim of the hat now. Such a great attitude that's being exposed from this character right now. Just continuing to go into the face with those small bits of highlight. And Lauran has really given us a sense of drama with the addition of this slash of red across the mouth of our character here. And it almost looks like the figure is maybe in a straitjacket or is hugging themselves. There's definitely a sense of anxiety and tension within this piece that Lauran has a really unique ability to communicate with her work. She's definitely an artist who really is good at leaning into the emotional component of communication within painting. We now have 5 minutes on the clock, and voting is now open at artbattle.com/AB2473. You can now cast your vote. The top 2 artists from this round and the top 2 artists from our next 20-minute round will move forward into a 4-artist final showdown where the artists will paint again. So as you are contemplating which artists you want to vote for in this round, think not only about the emotional the visual component of the piece and what you're enjoying about it, but also whose performance have you enjoyed? Which artist kind of surprised and delighted you with the way that they were painting? Because if you vote for them, you could potentially get to see them paint again. And definitely an artist who has brought a lot of drama and engagement to the round thus far is Oxana. And just the way that she is really embracing this kind of maximalism within this piece is just so much fun. And now we have the introduction of pattern with all of these little dots of color over top of all of the existing stripes and striations that she had going on. Back over with Ada. Oh, I'm so happy. I was very excited about Ada's work when it first came to us because of the themes of life and death and how she often is depicting these little skeleton characters as being very friendly and hanging out alongside live characters. And so to see Ada bring that conceptual element into the art battle arena today is something that I'm really, really enjoying. If we look closely, we can see that those characters that are in that kind of lighter green that are hanging out in the environment are indeed little skeletons. And the way that Aespyne has honed in on this piece with the black line work has just really served to underline all of the clean compositional elements within this piece, and has also added a little bit of a sense of cheekiness, like it's almost calling to like illustrative masters like Keith Haring, and just having that kind of illustrative punch with that weight of that line there. We now have 2.5 minutes left on the clock. And these artists are now rounding into finishing their final details, choosing which flourishes they want to display in their final moments of painting. Bear with us as we encounter some network issues with our camera. And we're back on Marco Salazar, and oh my gosh, this piece is just so epic. I would have been really happy if he had finished it 10 minutes ago, but I'm happy that he continued throughout the round, because the addition of these white lines and the little tufts of hair that's coming off of the beard, the white lines kind of curving into the smoke just really sets everything off. There's something very lonely about this piece from Lauran, and I appreciate that so much. We have all of these incredible elements of texture that we're really getting to see right now with the way that the light is playing off of the canvas as well. We can see this heavy application and the way that she's layering colors over top of each other. Back with Willow. And our creature has emerged as the Grim Reaper. Very cool. That marks the end of our very first round of our season opener in Chicago. That's right. This is the first event of the 2023-2024 Chicago season. Just a few weeks ago, we had the Chicago City Finals, and our artist was sent to the U.S. Nationals. And now we are looking for one artist to be crowned the winner of tonight's event, and they will be the first artist to qualify for the Chicago City Finals as well. And it was Kenzen who was the artist that made it to Nationals, and he is just such an absolutely phenomenal artist who we always love having up at the easel. And so now comes the time that other artists have the opportunity to vie for their place within the competition as well. So many different styles on view in this round as well. I have to say that Marco's is a favorite. Really enjoyed all of the texture that Lauran had going on. the absolute color explosion that Oxana was rocking up at the canvas. Some really, really exciting work happening here tonight. And if you are not yet registered, make sure that you go to artbattle.com/AB2473 and cast your vote, because our top 2 artists from this round and our top 2 artists from our next qualifying round will move forward into a 4-artist final. We will be back for round number 2 in just a few minutes with another 6 artists stepping up to the easels. And super fun, we actually have a wildcard artist who will be drawn from the crowd as well. That's right, one artist who has not been previously invited. They're not prepared at all. They've put their name in the hat for the chance to paint, and one artist will be pulled from the hat and will get to step up to the final easel. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I'm sure that we are going to be enjoying some live performances from some of Chicago's local musical talent. So be sure to stay tuned, and round number 2 of Art Battle in Chicago coming up. And we are back for round number 2 of Art Battle in San Francisco. We have 20 minutes officially on the clock, and right now we're seeing a very strong start from Fab Erre here. And Fab is just doing a fab job. We've got some water-based spray paint going down right now, this gorgeous bright yellow. Here we are with Charlie Goss, and Charlie is an artist that I was particularly excited to see painting in Art Battle. He is a post-impressionist figurative artist, so someone who really captures a lot of emotion within the figure and uses a lot of great play of light and color and painterly application. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how Charlie works with this one. Here we are with Metzli Flores, and Metzli is off to a very interesting start. We have all of these gorgeous gestural lines happening here, and this beautiful, beautiful blue. Really loving the rapidity with which Metzli is creating at this point. There is just so much energy pouring onto the canvas. And here we are with Trang, and Trang is another artist who is new to Art Battle that we've been very excited to see. Trang paints these beautiful, very softly rendered figures in all of these lovely light color palettes that are really capturing the immediacy of a moment. So capturing the immediacy of a moment seems quite appropriate for the Art Battle stage. So really looking forward to seeing how Trang's style emerges at the easel. We now have Anna Kim, and Anna is an artist from Seoul who also spends her time in Chicago. She has 2 studios, one in Seoul and one in Chicago, which I think is pretty cool. And Anna is well known for creating work that is celebrating nature, and she has this really unique style of painting that there's all of these almost flat colors and patterns, and it's just this really unique expression of the way that Anna paints. It's difficult to describe, so we will have to see it as it emerges. Moving over to our Wildcard artist here. So this artist was pulled from the hat and is an artist that was not pre-scheduled in the round. So very, very cool to see an artist pulled from the crowd, being brave, stepping up to the easels, and giving it all that they've got. All of these other artists have been pre-selected for weeks and have had that much time to decide which works they wanted to create, their battle strategy. This wildcard artist has just been thrown up there right now and is having to improvise on the spot, and that's something that I really, really admire. Back with Fab here, and Fab has added a little bit more kind of orange glow, looks like, around that yellow there, which is adding just a little bit of depth. And we have some turquoise line work happening now, potentially maybe some plants. Fab is an artist who says that she's influenced by street culture in Mexico, so I'm wondering whether or not we're going to see some iconography that relates to that. Back over with Charlie here, and with 4.5 minutes elapsed, Charlie has gotten his main planning stage of the figure executed, and we can also see that Charlie has his printed reference taped up to the corner of his canvas there. And that's something that I really love to see for artists, that when we get to see their reference right next to their painting, we literally get to see the translation of the image on the paper through the artist's brain, out through their brush, and onto the canvas. So I always really find that to be an extra stimulating way of engaging with the audience, and for us to just really get some insight into Charlie's process here. And now it looks like we have our reveal of what Metzli is painting. I think that we've got some really beautiful swimming koi here, and there's a very painterly execution going on with all of these very textural strokes happening with our koi here. And they're all swimming in one direction. They look like a little family. And enjoying the way that Metzli is blending that really strong blue into this phthalo green here at the bottom, really giving us a communication of depth there. Back with Trang, and Trang is using her signature palette here with these beautiful, super soft pinks, and this kind of lavender application for the blue of the eyes. Really looking forward to seeing how this piece continues to evolve. There's such a softness that exists there already. And we're also seeing a bit of color play between two different pinks. We have one that is rosier and one that is leaning a little bit more purple. And even though that's such a subtle difference, it just continues to add depth to the figure that Trang is working on. We're using the rosiness, I think, to work on some flesh tones. All right, back with Anna, and I didn't want to say anything earlier, but I'm very, very excited that she's working on a tiger here. I was really hoping, I was going to say, I hope that she paints a tiger, but I didn't want to create that expectation for everyone. But I'm really, really excited that Anna is painting it. It's one of her signature subjects and something that she absolutely excels at. And already I'm really intrigued by this tiger and the way that its body is continuing over the stripes of color that she's created, and that color is shining through, and that we're getting the stripes also interacting with that color. Just creates a really interesting design element. Back over with our Wildcard here, and I'm super, super impressed. I had initially thought that this was going to be a landscape. I was thinking that maybe there's some rocks and a lake in between the rocks in the bottom portion, but super stoked that this has turned into a very interesting dinosaur skull. Very, very intrigued with this piece and loving the unconventional choices of color and placement here. Back over with Fab. And Fab is actually using a hairdryer here. And using that hairdryer is such a smart technique because you're really able to get the paint to dry that much faster. Acrylic paint dries super quickly anyway, or as most artists kind of think of acrylic as being a very fast drying paint. But even when you're in this extreme environment of art battle and only having the 20 minutes, even the fastest drying paint can still remain wet and tacky and difficult to work with within this super short time period. So seeing Fab bringing out her secret weapon of that hairdryer is a really cool technique and excellent battle strategy. We are officially halfway through round number 2 of Art Battle in Chicago. Very, very exciting work here, and loving the way that Charlie is going at this figure, really blocking out the main components and main shapes and then working into the details after, which I think is quite indicative of a post-impressionist painter anyway. They're working through these larger shapes and then honing in and pulling out details. Back with Metzli here. And very cool to see her going into these koi with her bare fingers now. I think that that's such a great way to engage the crowd as well. I'm sure that this is something that Metzli does in her studio practice, getting really in there with the paint. But when I talk about engaging the crowd, they're going to be so into this. The audience loves when an artist gets really connected with the work, gets very physical. They love seeing an artist get a little bit messy and get paint on themselves. So I think that that's a great opportunity to really connect her with the viewers as well. Back with Trang, and not only is this a single portrait, but we now have the emergence of a secondary face. And it looks like we have two figures, one with a head leaning down and one with a head leaning up from the bottom of the canvas, about to have this tender kiss, this tender moment. And Trang often is capturing sensual scenes that are intimate and are very soft and connected. And so I love that she's bringing that to the easel as well. Back with Anna, and the way that these colors are emerging over the tiger is just super, super good. It's really popping off of the canvas with starting with the green in the face and then moving into more of these peachy tones within the back of the body. And this application that is just kind of dappling them, those colors between the stripes. I am just so into this piece. With 7.5 minutes remaining, I'm really anticipating just a fantastic level of execution from Anna here. our wildcard artist, doing such a great job at fleshing out, or I guess I can't say fleshing out when it's skull painting, but really expanding the composition within the canvas. And I think that he's doing that effectively by bringing in that kind of glow element just behind the skull and coming from the corner of the canvas, and just using that paint to go right up against the edge. I know that that might seem obvious to some viewers to fill in to the four corners of the canvas, but often artists are really grappling and battling with the level of negative space that's surrounded by their main object, and that's often a compositional element that gets left until the end. So I love seeing an artist tackling it at this point. Fab giving us these really cool, I think that they're cacti or thistles. Either way, really digging the color play between this seafoamy green and this really warm, gorgeous orange. Back over with Charlie, and with just 6 minutes remaining on the clock, I feel like Charlie is really going to pull this one off. I think that he's established all of his main shapes really, really well, and we're just going to kind of get into the magic of pulling out a little bit more of those details from the face. And there's this really lovely application of paint all over the canvas that is textural and is really playing together. I think that he's actually using oil as well. Back with Metzli here, and Metzli has added some additional elements within the background, making the background a little bit busier, and I think creating a little bit of competition actually between the main focal point of our koi and the environment that they're in. But I am really interested in digging the level of texture that's been applied to the koi themselves, and especially with these pops of orange and yellow that are throughout the bodies of the fish. Back with Trang here, and just loving the way that this tender moment has been captured. We can see just the suggestion of a few fingers underneath the neck creeping up onto the cheek of our figure that's laying down. And I just love the subtlety of that. And I am living for this blue application right now. This is just making it for me. I am just so happy with those just few little hits of blue just in all of these right moments. We have just the blue on the eyelash line and delineating the shoulder there, creating a little bit of separation. And with 3.5 minutes left on the clock, voting is now open at artbattle.com/AB2473. All images are now up for our first round, and voting is open for our second round as well. We'll be uploading images for our second round shortly, but voting is open for both of the rounds. So if you missed voting in round number 1, or if you'd like to get a jump start on voting in round number 2, head to artbattle.com/AB2473. Also, all of the works created tonight are available for silent auction at that same link. You don't need to be in the room to collect. We will ship them to you. I know that there's a few that I've got my eye on. I know that Trang is creating a really special work. I'm also really digging our wildcard artist here as well. I think that that would be a highly collectible piece and something that you could just stare at all the time and continue to find different levels of color nuance within that piece. Especially that hit of that fluorescent green in the corner there. Oh, the addition of these red thorns is super interesting from Fab. And again, it's just underlining her ability to play with color and to really play with those design elements, and the use of these super sharp triangular brushstrokes for the thorns are very graphic, and creating a great contrast on the background color there. Starting to get into the rosy cheeks of our figure here from Charlie. And we can even just see the suggestion of a pink little ear underneath the hair. And I love that subtlety. And yeah, there's just this beautiful sumptuousness of the colors in the application here, that is definitely telling me that he's working with oil. There's just this kind of effortless blend that's happening within these colors, where even where he's kept a sharp line, there's still just a little tiny bit of gradient that allows them to kind of be buttery and blending into each other. Metzli continuing with our high-level finger painting here. And with 45 seconds left on the clock, I'm so happy that she's taking on the sides of the canvas. I really thought that she wouldn't have time for that, but it's a finishing element that I think is necessary for that piece, and is something that really finishes off a work for me in particular, is the treatment of the sides of the canvas. Oh, I'm so happy getting this moment from Trang. We're just seeing this final touch of her feathering her brush over top of everything that she's done, really creating this beautiful diffusion. All right, our second round of Art Battle in Chicago has now concluded, and voting is open at artbattle.com/AB2473. So make sure that you choose your favorite artist. Round 1 and 2 are both open for voting, so make sure that you vote in both, because the top 2 artists, as voted by the audience, will be moving forward into a third and final 4-artist showdown with another 20 minutes and another blank canvas. So get ready for that. We will be back with our winner announcement in just a few minutes. In the meantime, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Joe, Gracella, if you guys want to tell me what your favorite piece in this battle has been so far, we would love to hear it. I know that we have Reddy, Michelle, and Debbie hanging out as well. Would love to get your opinions, guys. Tell us what your favorite moments of the battle are, who you're thinking of voting for. And voting, once again, is open at artbattle.com/AB2473, the link that is on your screen. So many different techniques and styles explored within this round. We have this beautiful graphic offering from Fab. And this gorgeous post-impressionist portrait from Charlie, our extremely textural and engaging execution from Metzli, this very soft, beautiful, intimate moment from Trang, our painterly execution meets illustration technique from Ada with our wonderful regal tiger there, and of course our colorful and unconventional offering from our brave Wildcard artist. You guys get to decide which artist is your favorite, and voting is now open. We will be back in just a few minutes for our winner announcement of which artists from round number 1 and round number 2 will be making it forward into our final round. So stay tuned for our winner announcement.
We have done another amazing Alright, so thank you, Jimmy. I'm gonna say this real quick and then I get out the way. I am a part of a coalition that is here to transform public safety here in the city of Chicago. I'm calling just to make sure that I'm heard, that we know the coalition. And making a sustainable transformation to public safety here in the city of Chicago. Alright, so I say crime, I'm going to invite you all to say drugs. Yes, sir? Crime. Imagine the city of Chicago in the absence of crime and violence, not only in specific communities, but citywide. Let's just take 5 seconds to just think about who would prosper, who would benefit, how our city would transform in the absence of violence and crime. Let's take 5 seconds. So I'm counting those close our eyes for 3 seconds, y'all. 3 seconds to just stay with me. 1, 2, 3. Alright, the way in which we, as a coalition, so we have a table that is speaking to our current campaign, Will Sustain, which is a component of the campaign, and we will resume the merchandise that we create and continue to form after we get back up and alright? So know that when you consume with us, it's pushing a cause, and follow us at Trang Nguyen on Instagram. So we want to see and empower the community be a part of this grand process campaign that we have. Okay? So learn, shop, and activate. But we're teaching again is the philosophy and practice of restorative justice. We now invite you to participate in our dialogue. I'm recently exploring theater, and I'm recently exploring horror. And again, crime. That's what I need. Crime. Last time, crime. Let's go right now. That's my brother, man. Make sure you guys check out the channel. I'm going to invite all the artists around you, please bring your comments. We're going to get ready to announce the finalists. But before that, we got a treat for us. The final zero. As you can see, the game got bigger. We don't have 10 more minutes in the final round. It's only a 30-minute round. You ready? In round one, we got Marco and Willow. We got Goss. Comparison. Marco's going to be in this first one, Willow. For round two, and round snap, we got, and forgive me if I say this wrong, Trang Brandon, you right here. Trang, you right here. We got Willow. We got Marco. Where's Marco at? Marco, where you at? Marco? Come on, baby. We made it to the final. This is huge. Shout out to my guys about 5 minutes to go. 9:30, we're on the way. Let's make some noise for our finals. One more time, everybody. Yeah, that's drunk and kind. I like that. All right, now, do our job. Just want to let you guys play around. We need everybody else in the bleachers, so you know what to do. I like that. I like it. Okay, you know what to do. All right, come on, we go. I like that. I appreciate that. Everything has to be crazy. We got about 4 minutes. Wow. Our cameras are preparing.
Our winners for round number 3 have been announced, and moving forward from round number 1 into our final is Marco Salazar and Willow Estel. And moving forward from round number 2, we have Trang Nguyen and our wildcard artist. Love it when a wildcard moves forward. Very, very exciting tonight. We will have our third and final round starting in just a few minutes, so stay tuned.
Artists, fellas, are you ready? I'm ready. You got the apron on. I don't think Paul got the aprons on. Prepare the aprons. Come on. Alright, I feel like I hit my second win, and I'm going to exchange the other two over to y'all. So because y'all acting like, I'm sorry, I think this is a lot of cities, so I gotta make sure I'm very clear on what city I'm in. Y'all acting like Colorado or something, like y'all. Look, this is Chicago! You gotta give me that blue Whatever reason to be hype. Alright, we're about to get this started. Alright. I need y'all help.
We are just about to start our third and final round of Art Battle in Chicago. Thank you so much, everyone, for bearing with us through minor camera blips. But here we are with our very, very exciting final round. We now have 20 minutes left to begin this, and we have up at the easels Marco Salazar and Willow Estel from round number 1, and from round number 2, Trang Nguyen and our Wildcard artist. Right now we are checking out our Wildcard artist, who is laying down some thick black paint up at the easels, a different shape than he started with in the qualifying round. And I always get so excited when a Wildcard artist makes it forward into the final, because what a night to have. These guys who end up as wildcards are pulled from the audience and have to paint and come up with something right on the spot. And so if they get called into the final, if they get voted forward, they have to come up with yet another thing right up on the spot. And here we are with Marco Salazar, and Marco is starting off with this gorgeous blue color, 2 tones of blue. We have a ultramarine and a cerulean up in the top, and just from the basic shapes that he's making, I'm feeling like we're going to be headed into a portrait with that as well. And here we are with Willow, and Willow sticking to a similar color palette. They seem to really enjoy this yellow. Willow's first round qualifying piece, they had this gorgeous yellow orb and a sun with a silhouette painted over top of it that was revealed to be the Grim Reaper after his death. So really just melding in those colors on the canvas and mixing right on the canvas. Back to Trang here, and Trang looks like she's doing a completely different approach from her first round qualifying piece. I'm getting the impression that we're going to be working with multiple figures within this piece, which she did have multiple figures in her qualifying round piece, but we have a much more zoomed out view of these 2 figures, I think. Just from my first impression, I feel like maybe potentially we could be getting some ballerinas. And now with the surprise addition of this blue here. And over with our Wildcard artist, who is going very heavy into the black right now. And looks like we have some central shape of red going on, and maybe 2 little eyes potentially. I think that this piece may end up being some sort of creature. We're getting these really rapid strokes establishing the shape of the character here. I'm thinking maybe it's a bird with its beak downturned a little bit and putting eye contact forward. Back over with Marco, and the addition of this like limey green. Oh, it's actually starting out as almost a fluorescent yellow, and he's blending it into the blue and just softening it and doing all of this wonderful blending on the canvas that is creating this gorgeousness of glow around the collar of what I'm sure will be emerging as a portrait. And now going in with a mop brush, which is a brush that is very fluffy and is able to pick up a lot of paint all at once. Back over with Willow, and continuing with that consistent color palette of the black and the red for Willow. And Willow is continuing to kind of lean into their signature style of working with silhouetted black, and I think that all of this black is going to be converging onto some sort of scene that is going to be taking the central focus within this composition. Back at Trang here, and I think that we were right that we're getting multiple figures and that they could potentially be dancers. I'm seeing this fluffy skirt happening and the expression of a back bend from our central figure, from our forefront figure's body. And the way that Trang executes is just so engaging to me. I love these just small ticks of the hand that she does that just create these short curving lines that are just so gestural and are so able to express the curve of her body, or a point of emphasis that's leaning towards movement in such a short, concentrated way. Back with our Wildcard artist, and going more into that black now, and I think that we're getting some wings that are being introduced into this piece. Yeah, definitely feeling like we're getting a little bit of feathery elements added into the top of this creature's shoulders. Oh wow, from Marco. Just continuing on with this palette here of using the blues and the yellows, and it's just using it so wonderfully and so softly. It's just really concentrating and focusing on establishing the play of light and shadow, but again, using full saturation color to do that. It takes such a masterful painter to be able to pull off using such saturated hues to be able to communicate light and dark and contrast. So very, very impressive work from Marco here. Now getting a little bit of a lavender color being introduced, further delighting us with these unconventional color choices from Marco. Now starting to get into our central focus from Willow. We have this kind of symmetrical shape that is existing in the center of the canvas, but I'm not sure what it is yet. Is it going to be some kind of like sculptural podium, and we see what emerges on top? Is it a smaller element of a larger item? Looking forward to having the mystery continue to reveal itself. Some really careful brushwork here from Willow. And we now have the introduction of a third figure into our composition from Trang, and again using this gorgeous soft rosy palette that she had used before. Completely different in subject matter and composition, but we're really still understanding that this is Trang's work and Trang's style, based on all of the stylistic choices that she's making in terms of palette, in terms of her line work and the way that she's expressing lines. And this piece is feeling very celebratory as well. We are now approaching our halfway mark of our third and final round of the Art Battle Chicago season opener. We are hanging out with our Wildcard artist, who is just executing this piece in such an intriguing way, kind of waiting to the last moments to reveal to us what this piece truly is representing. I'm really enjoying the way that this yellow is coming down from the upper corners. That's something that he did in his qualifying round piece as well, was kind of establishing a light source simply using color by dragging that in from our diagonal corners. Back with Marco here. And I am just continuing to be completely fascinated by the way that Marco is choosing to execute this piece, all of the different color choices that he's making, really focusing on the planes of the face and where light would hit, doing a very cool composition, but also adding in this little bit of warmer, buttery yellow to kind of evoke a sense of sunshine. Very impressed with this piece. Loving the addition of those eyelashes. And it looks like we now have almost this kind of ghost presence from Willow's piece. That's something that often makes its way thematically into their work. This kind of exploration of life and death. I wouldn't be surprised if Willow and Ada had some similar interests in terms of their work and would have a really cool discourse about representing death within artwork. We'll have to encourage them to become art friends. Back with Trang here, and the addition of this little bit of rosiness into our cooler top corner is really just such a wonderful harmonizing element for this piece. Oh, such a nice moment to catch the blending out of the skin tones on the shoulder there. Oh, I think it's a black swan. I'm starting to see now the lines of the neck and how that's kind of lifting the head and where the weight of the head is coming from. Definitely a good reveal. We'll have to collect the name of our wildcard artist here and invite them back to paint when they have had time to come up with a concept, because if they're executing at this level with no preparation time, I really can't wait to see what he would bring to the easel with having weeks to prepare. There's something that's very hopeful and somber at the same time in this portrait here from Marco. I think it's the expression of the figure with their eyes being closed that lends it this sense of serenity, and then maybe the tonality of the palette giving us a little bit of a feeling of loneliness and isolation, and that the background is completely blank, and so that's kind of underlying the singularity, or underlining the singularity of our figure here. And we've got our Reaper hanging out at this podium. Maybe it's like a looking glass or a looking pool. And on the opposite side, we have our little ghost spirit figure hanging out. I wonder what they are talking about. Voting is now open for our third and final round of Art Battle in Chicago for our first season opener. The winning artist from tonight's event will earn the very first spot in the Chicago City Finals in 2024. So we have lots of exciting stuff coming up, and it certainly is high stakes tonight. Back with Trang here, and another unexpected yet subtle change is the addition of this gorgeous glowing yellow between the limbs of our dancers here. It just really just continues to warm up this piece and is definitely communicating this post-impressionistic kind of subject matter. When you think of French post-impressionist painters painting dancers in France. So we're definitely feeling that kind of art historical context here, but it's being brought into a more contemporary space with the very specific way that Trang is blending it out and the palette that she's chosen to execute that in. And now getting the feathers on our black swan here, really helping to communicate that this is folded wings that are up against the body of our swan here. And then we have kind of those feathers that are cascading at the edges of the wings. And again, from Marco, in our final moments, getting into these just beautiful, expressive, white, stylized lines. Very interested to see what brush Marco is using to get this gorgeous crispness that he's able to get. Ticking down into our final 2 minutes. Your votes count. artbattle.com/AB2473. We often are hearing from our voting manager that voting can be super, super tight and that every vote really does make such a huge difference. So as we are moving into our final minutes of the round, really contemplate who you want to vote for because it could make all the difference. Just getting into these super detailed lines here with Willow. We can see that she's using a very small brush, but that the actual brush head is a little bit longer, which makes it easier to make those straight, specific lines. And Trang just adding in the final small accents, really just doing such an incredible job of creating these accents. And now I'm noticing that there are elements of texture that have been added into the tutus of our dancers here, just within the almost the exact same color. And this is just really setting this piece off. Loving the addition of the blue within the feathers as well, really helping to create that depth and kind of communicate that almost like an oily sheen on the feathers. Getting into our final seconds here. Just our last finishing touches. Would really love to hear from you guys in the audience, which pieces you have enjoyed the most tonight. We've had such an incredible array of different styles and pieces and moods and palettes exposed at the easels tonight and revealed by our artists. We would love to hear from you guys in the comments about which pieces you enjoyed the most. I have just been told that they are actually doing a 30-minute final in Chicago. So these artists now have 10 extra minutes. I think that they're at about 7 minutes remaining on the easels. And these guys are really getting this opportunity to just add in that much more detail into these pieces. And now we are officially heading into our final 5 minutes of painting in our final round of Art Battle Chicago, our season opener. So for this event, we had almost all new artists stepping up to the easels. So I want to take a moment to shout out all of these artists and thank them so much for their creativity and courage stepping up to the easels. Everyone except for Lauran, Willow, and Oxana, who all painted in the first round, and Willow, who made it to our final, are actually new artists to the Art Battle Chicago circuit. So really, really excited to welcome new talent, especially as we are in our season opener. It seems appropriate to meet all of these new wonderful artists. Loving these just subtle details being introduced by Marco here. Just that little smudge that he's doing with his finger, just softening up those edges just that tiny little bit, and adding that highlight that he just did above the lip with his finger as well. Sometimes you just can get in there with a finger a little bit better. Back with Willow here, and Willow is just continuing to execute all of these finer details. Oh, I think they're playing chess. I understand. I get it now. That's very, very cool. Really, really interesting use of allegory there from Willow. I'm so happy that I finally understood the context there. I was like, "What's on that pedestal?" Oh, it's probably a chess set, and the Grim Reaper is playing against the spirit. How cool is that? Again, from Trang, just loving the way that all of these pieces have been really diffused. There's such a special quality within that blurring that creates almost this sense of nostalgia. And we have some hatching now as well on the neck of our bird here, which is really helping to get that contrast and help us understand the light source. Loving our cheering section here. We have someone sitting right beside Marco, just acting like a hype section, and I am here for it. I love it. Oh, and I think maybe potentially who's actually using this person as a reference. We will have to ask him. If anyone is interested in checking out the work of all of these artists, we have linked all of their Instagram profiles on our Art Battle Chicago Instagram, where you can read a little bit about them and the inspiration behind their work, and of course links to go follow them as well. So once you are finished voting at the link that's on your screen, artbattle.com/AV2473, head on over to the Art Battle Chicago Instagram and check out these artists and give your favorites a follow.
Make some noise one more time for our final show. Alright, we're gonna give y'all a good 10 minutes to bid on anyone your favorite band for tonight's holiday. You know how that can be a few finalize your vote. In the meantime, we got one last special performance for you all.
Our third and final round of Art Battle in Chicago is now finished. So make sure that you head over to artbattle.com/AB2473. In the meantime, while we wait for the votes to pour in to help us determine who will be the winner of tonight's event, we will be viewing another musical performance. So stay tuned for our winner announcement and enjoy the entertainment in the meantime.
So let's keep that
Please bear with us as we charge our streaming camera. We're hoping to be able to air the winner announcement in just a few moments.
Alright. I need y'all to make some noise. For today, our battle Chicago, our new champion. Trang! Come on! First time for great possibly Chicago. Make sure you stop your work, man. The place is so beautiful. Trang.art in Instagram. Trang.art. I think it's T-R-A-N-G, right? Trang. T-R-A-N-G.art. Alright, thank you guys. Once again, we're getting out of the official. And I just so much more stuff. I don't know. We're feeling the energy that you feel me? I'm pushing out. I love you guys. We will be here next month. We are about to make sure you follow me on Instagram so you can get the update. ALLEN, the official. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
Thank you so much to everyone who joined us on stream, and a huge congratulations to our newest Art Battle Chicago champion, Trang Nguyen. An absolutely phenomenal night for live competitive painting, and our just such a wonderful season opener. And thank you so much to Alan, who runs the show on the ground in Chicago, for running just such an excellent event tonight. We are grateful for you all, and of course to all 12 of our artists who competed tonight. If you are interested in painting in Art Battle Chicago, you can apply at artbattle.com/artists, and anywhere else in the world pretty much. We take applications from all over the world. We will be back in Minneapolis tomorrow on the stream, so